It's the end of a busy term at Orangutan Jungle School. Orphaned students have been learning the skills they'll need to one day return to the wild. Some find the lessons easy. Others, less so. Nursery newcomers have been taking baby steps in their education. The juniors have been building on the basics, becoming more skilled and more adventurous. And those who make it to college have been proving they can live independently. Today, the hard work will pay off for 6 lucky students. It's graduation day. But who has done enough to return to the wild? Final preparations are underway at the Nursery Rehabilitation Center for the biggest event in the school calendar. The 6 lucky graduates will embark on the most important journey of their lives. To a remote area of Borneo rainforest and freedom at last. Competition for a place on the list has been fierce. Only those with the best chance of survival will go.
This group.
The selection panel has made its final decisions. The first onto the list is 10-year-old Suzanne. Rescued from a village at 4 years old, she showed spirit and early confidence in forest school. She fast-tracked her way to college, where she won the support of the pre-release island's manager, Untung.
I really love with Susan. She is very sweet, very humble. Not only with the orangutan, but also with the human, yeah.
The smart student soon became independent, honing her survival skills.
She know how to find the foraging food. Very clever to making nest for sleeping in the forest. Susan, she is very clever, yeah. She have all of the quality as a top candidate for release.
Joining Suzanne will be fellow forest school graduates, 10-year-old Siarini, 9-year-old Kejora, and 10-year-old Yoko. All have passed the final rigorous assessment with flying colours. One candidate up for consideration was Valentino, but he doesn't make the list. The staff decides he needs more time on the pre-release island, developing his survival skills.
I'm confident Valentino will be one of the candidates for the release in the future, yeah.
Mama Edwan dan Edwin.
The final 2 orangutans to be released have taken a more unusual path to freedom. Mama Edwan has spent 20 years on a pre-release island waiting for this life-changing opportunity. At the grand old age of 36, and now almost at the end of her natural life, she will become the oldest ex-captive orangutan that the Boss Foundation has ever returned to the wild. Most rescues arrive as orphaned infants. But Mama Edwan was an adult with a severely broken and badly infected arm. The vets had to make a potentially life or death choice.
Before the infection spread to another organ, we must quickly make decision for amputated the broken one.
With just one arm, Mama Edwan was moved onto a pre-release island. Here, she slowly adjusted to life with a disability.
The orangutans are incredibly resilient. And even with 3 limbs, orangutans can survive on their own in the wild. And she's shown that's possible.
In 2017, she gave birth to a daughter, delaying her release into the wild. Edwina is now 6 years old. By tragic coincidence, Edwina also lost an arm in a tree climbing accident. But her mother has taught her well how disability need not be a barrier to success.
And that's incredibly special because they are disabled orangutans and they really prove how strong and resilient orangutans are.
I'm extremely really happy to see Mama Edwan released to the wild. It's like she deserves all of this because she is really good orangutan.
Departing the pre-release islands for the final time, Mama Edwan and Edwina will join the forest school graduates now also back at Niaro Menteng. The Lucky Six have spent the last 2 months in quarantine, undergoing health checks in preparation for their big day. Everyone will get one last checkup before they embark on the road to freedom. The 4 forest school graduates will be lightly sedated to reduce stress. Being used to humans, they should be easy enough to handle. But the older, wilder Mama Edwan is understandably wary. The vet team needs her fully sedated to stand any chance of handling her. Greg will use a blowpipe and dart. But he must stalk his target very quietly, as he doesn't want to spook her.
Greggy tried to be like hiding, and then just slowly.
Greg's busted.
She's wild, so when she look people, she will be like going to be crazy. So that's make more difficult if sedate the orangutan with moving, always moving.
Seeing her mother's distress upsets Edwina next door.
She was really scared, especially when some of people walking around the cages, and by only seeing us blow darting everyone, it was really scared for Edwina.
While the vets wait for Mama Edwan to calm down, now sedated, Untung's favourite student, Suzanne, is ready for her final checks. He knows saying goodbye will be hard.
Releasing Susan, of course, I lost one I love. But also feel a happy thing. Finally, Susan have the freedom. Maybe she's waiting for a long time, yeah.
The vets take vital statistics, blood, and check no one has any infectious disease they could pass on to those already in the wild.
We share over 97% of the same DNA, and this means they can actually catch all the same diseases that we have.
Suzanne gets the all clear and is ready to go. 10-year-old Yoko is the only male to make it onto the list this time. His weight and core measurements are recorded, but he's not keen on the COVID test. Yoko arrived at the centre when he was just 2 years old. He soon became known as a master coconut shredder.
Syahrini.
Next is Siarini.
30,8.
She was born in 2013 at Niaro Menteng. In forest school, She got a hard time off classmate Valentino. But she's leapfrogged over him to win her place on the release list. With Ciarini now ready to go, there's one former classmate left. Kejora was a tiny, sick orphan when rescued. She was found chained up on an oil palm plantation. Progressing through forest school, she hated being contained and used every opportunity to try and escape. Now, 9 years old, she's still looking to evade capture. Finally, they managed to sedate her.
Tunggu kurang lebih 5 menitan, dia sudah diinjek juga.
At the other end of the cages, Mama Edwan is finally calmer. Greg seizes the opportunity, approaching only when she's not looking.
Kena?
Kena tapi kok nggak keluar obatnya ya?
The tranquilizer dart bends on impact.
Karena kalau cuma kayak gini kan berarti masuk segini aja ke otot.
It means they don't know how much sedative she's had or how much more she'll need. Mama Edwan's old age makes anesthesia more risky. So they err on the side of caution, reducing the dose.
Hati-hati terlalu kencang.
Greg hopes it will be third time lucky for the dart. It is. Everyone must be ready to move her as soon as the anesthesia takes effect. Within 15 minutes, she's out. Mama Edwan's breathing and heart rate remain stable. So far, so good. No adverse reaction to the sedative. Now they must wait for her to wake up. Finally released from her quarantine cage, Edwina just wants her mum.
She was really clingy because she wants a security. I feel happy her knowing me as someone that she trusts.
Bentar. Samping mama. Itu. Kamu jaga Greg di dalam. Udah situ aja, sayang. Udah di situ. Cepat. Mama sudah bangun. Oh, sudah.
Much to Augus's relief, Mama Edwan is now ready to go.
Sudah. Ini bangun. Yoko udah.
The 6 graduates' journey to freedom can begin. Mother and daughter will travel side by side, so they can see each other during the 300-kilometer ride to the release site.
I'm looking forward for the time when we see these orangutans feel free and roam the wild, leaving us behind. That's the moment where we know that what we do is really worthwhile.
Orangutan freedom!
It's not only a big day for the graduates. At the nursery, 2.5-year-old Molly has finally completed the 2-month quarantine period every new arrival must undergo. Tomorrow, she will join her new class for the very first time.
Molly,
It's a big step for any new orphan, but Molly's #1 fan has full faith in her.
Baru pertama kali saya menjaganya dia, langsung jatuh cinta saya, Pak, sama Molly. Cantik lagi orangnya. Iya. Saya pikir Molly ini orangutan yang sangat cantik, dia pintar.
Molly will be joining the youngest nursery group. And one of the students she'll meet is Rumba. When Rumba first started class 4 months ago, she was very timid. The paralysis in her left hand didn't help her confidence. Particularly when it came to climbing. Today, Letta is helping her with some one-on-one tuition.
Dibanding menjaga orangutan yang lain, perlu ekstra tenaga, perhatian dan waktu.
Semangat.
Rumba still needs some encouragement to grip the branches with her injured left hand.
Nih, nah buahnya.
So Letta is using fruit kebabs as an incentive
Ini buahnya.
and stays close in case Rumba falls.
Ayo, ini sayangnya ini. Ambil, di atas ini ambil. Tidak apa-apa. Capek. Oh, sorry. Maaf. Oke. Tidak apa-apa. Ayo, ambil. Ini pisangnya.
Dia masih semangat untuk sekolah, untuk beraktivitas. Dan dia terus berjuang untuk naik pohon, untuk belajar, seperti orangutan yang lain.
Nanti dulu, pelan-pelan. Ambil di sini. Ambil.
As always, determined Rumba doesn't give up.
Ambil. Iya, terus.
Suddenly, it seems Rumba has found a new level of confidence.
Rumba bisa. Iya, hebat. Ayo, ambil. Nanti ini. Dikit
She's
lagi.
managing to climb independently and is gripping strongly with both her hands.
Sini, sayang. Nah, Rumba bisa. Oke, terus.
This is a huge breakthrough.
Ayo. Pelan-pelan.
Rumba mulai sudah terlihat percaya dirinya.
Ambil. Sini.
Dan itu membuat saya sangat senang dan bahagia.
Yang di sini. Terus, sayang. Bentar. Apa?
Nearby in the older nursery group, even spoiled Spanzer is making some heartening progress. This former overindulged pet never strays far from his carers and pulls tantrums if he doesn't get his way. But today, at last, he's got off the ground and is showing some independence exploring the trees. It goes to show there's potential in even the most reluctant learners.
Pada suatu saat nanti, orangutan Spencer mungkin bisa rilis seperti orangutan yang lain. Itu harapan kami sebagai ibu asuhnya.
While Spanzer's journey to potential release is just beginning, for the lucky 6, their new life in the wild is less than 24 hours away. It's 5 p.m. as the orangutan release convoy begins the first leg of its journey. The passengers, unaware their lives are about to dramatically change.
They definitely know something is up. They've been in these transport cages before. The cages are associated with good things, like moving to a pre-release island. But they don't know it's going to be even better than that.
Departing just before sunset, means they'll travel at night when it's cooler. Apart from stopping for several welfare checks, the journey will be almost continuous, ensuring the graduates are confined in their cages for the shortest possible time. It's critical the convoy arrives early afternoon tomorrow. The graduates will need several hours of daylight to familiarize themselves with their new home before they spend their first night alone in the wild. 2 hours in, the convoy makes its first pit stop to check everyone's okay.
Hey, sini. I think for the first time maybe only need some water, yeah? Yeah.
Untung and Greg want to ensure everyone stays hydrated. 5 of the passengers happily accept the refreshments. But not Mama Edwan.
She doesn't really like this. I'm trying to see her condition. He refused my drinks.
Mama Edwin is kiss-squeaking towards us a lot, which shows she's not happy. Kiss-squeaking is one of the ways orangutans show us that they're uncomfortable with the situation they're in. But it's not, I'm going to attack you. It's just, hey, back up. Give me space.
Greg would prefer her to drink, but the fact that she's back to her old feisty self is a good sign. At least for now.
I'd rather have a kiss-squeaking orangutan who's a little bit upset than one who's lethargic and not feeling well.
For the first stop, I think I can feel they're looking good.
The next milestone to be met is in 6 hours. The village of Tumbang Hiran. There they will briefly stop over. But a sudden and heavy thunderstorm could throw their schedule into disarray.
It's raining heavily. It's a bad sign for everyone.
The storm slows the convoy. But Greg is more concerned about the impact the storm will have on tomorrow's second leg, which is a journey up the Katingan River. If the river is running high and fast, it will be too dangerous for the convoy. The team could face a difficult decision. Return to Nyaru Menteng, or wait until the river slows and its level drops. Neither option is good, as it'll prolong the time the graduates are in their cages. The convoy reaches the river. Despite the rain easing, the water continues to rise. But the ferry is still able to cross. Driving through the storm has taken an hour longer than they'd planned.
It's 6:30 in the morning, so we just arrived in the village Tumbang Hiran. We will spend like 3 or 4 hours for everyone to rest and for the orangutan as well. I'm feeling good but sleepy at the same time.
While Edwina remains calm, Mama Edwan still refuses fluids and continues her protest at being confined. Whether they can proceed upriver for the release all depends on the height of the water at dawn. "6:30 a.m. And although the river is running fast, there's good news.
Today, thankfully, thank God, the river is not too high. So I think this is a good sign for us. So fingers crossed everything will be going smooth.
The convoy can continue their journey, but they can't afford any more delays.
Time is really important. Time is the key.
They must reach the release site by 2:30 p.m. and free the 6 orangutans. so they have enough time to settle in and build nests before nightfall.
So it is a present for everyone. It's a chance for everyone.
This will be these orangutans' last day being cared for by humans. They are now only 8 hours away from the biggest moment in their lives. – 7:30 a.m. The convoy departs on time. The safety of their precious cargo is paramount. Conditions on the river can quickly change, and danger lurks in the swirling currents. Large buoyancy vests have been added to the cages.
If, in a worst-case scenario, the boat were to flip or capsize, the orangutan cages wouldn't just sink to the bottom and the orangutans would drown. Instead, the cages would float and we could retrieve them. We've never had an instance where we've had to use the life vest, but they are there just in case.
Over halfway to the release site, the convoy enters the Bukit Baka Bukit Raya National Park. The orangutans get their first glimpse of the protected area that will be their new wild home. One of the last great tropical rainforests left on Earth.
This is a very special forest because when you enter in the industrial park, it's so calm. This is a perfect site for orangutan and the perfect site for us too, for healing.
The national park covers 1,800 square kilometers, consisting of lowland woods, mountains, and tropical forest. It is a hotspot for biodiversity. It protects the habitat of hornbills, proboscis monkeys, and sun bears. It's already home to 189 forest school graduates who made this very same journey back to the wild. As the convoy progresses into the park, there's a distinct change of mood on board the boats from both humans and orangutans. Mama Edwan's is the most dramatic.
I'm on Mama Edwin's boat, and her behavior and her demeanor has completely changed. She got quiet, the kiss squeaking stopped. She's just been sitting at the front of the cage, looking out at the trees.
Mama Edwan, I can see her smiling. I am really amazed by seeing that.
I don't think I've ever seen her looking happier than this.
She even now accepts Greg's offer of fruit. With her mother finally eating and at ease in her cage beside her, Edwina relaxes too. Untung has just a few hours left with Suzanne.
Susan cannot stop looking outside of the cages. She tries to see everything. She is very excited and maybe she's now this beautiful forest for her. I think Susan knows she's going to find her home.
Suddenly, an engine fails. They're powerless against the fast current. They need to get the boat out of danger, and quickly. Back in the safety of forest school, the nursery students are about to meet their new classmate.
Kita udah sekolah hari ini, Molly.
Having officially finished quarantine, Molly's off to experience her first day of school. After 2 months of isolation, encountering a crowd of new faces could be very intimidating.
Mereka sudah terlihat, Molly. Hai, Onyer. Namaku
But for Molly, clearly not. She eagerly greets new friend Onya. He introduces himself with a bite. Molly isn't fazed. Now Ramanai, Avo, and the others pile in.
Inilah cara mereka kenalan pertama. Hampir semua orangutan kalau masuk kelas barunya akan mengalami hal yang sama. Ayo Rumba.
Rumba isn't quite ready to join the rough and tumble, but observes from a safe distance. The welcome party scrum is starting to get a bit much for Molly. But she gives as good as she gets. And with her advanced climbing skills,
Ayo Molly, naik Molly.
she's easily able to escape for a breather in the treetops.
Jadi murid baru.
It's clear that plucky Molly is going to do just fine in forest school. Molly's not the only student joining a new class today. Bumi is too. The chaos he's been causing is not only impacting his learning, but also his classmates. In an effort to solve Bumi's inattentiveness, researcher Dr. Nadine Sugianto from the University of Birmingham observed his unruly behaviour in the juniors class.
In his previous group, in the junior group, Bumi is the one that's more dominant because his peers are a lot smaller and a lot younger.
Concluding his misbehaviour could be a result of boredom, she wants to see how he performs amongst the seniors class.
They're a lot bigger in size, they're older in age, and a lot more skillful in terms of their ability to climb and move around the trees, their ability to be more independent from their babysitters and also from their peers. So here, I'm hoping that he'll be stimulated to learn more from his older peers.
Bumi appears somewhat bewildered as to why he's been taken from the juniors class.
There are definitely some risks to bring Bumi in the senior group because in this group, there are some individuals that are quite dominant, like Christina and Jackie. So if he doesn't go along with them, we might see some squabbling.
Bumi tentatively enters the seniors classroom. There's no rough and tumble initiation, like there was for younger Molly. But there is an icebreaker. But Bumi doesn't have his piece for long. Nicked by Topan. And his second block is pinched too. This time, the thief is Jari.
I saw a lot of stealing going around Bumi, and he tolerated Topan and Zahri stealing his food, which is very different to his old group, where usually he's the one doing all of the stealing. He is a bit submissive in this group because his peers are a lot bigger and older than him.
Not wanting to lose another ice block, Bumi retreats.
He went away quite far off, and hid in the bushes to make sure that he could eat in peace so no one stole from him.
Bumi, sini Bum.
A little gentle encouragement from Sri helps Bumi back into the class. This time, he's more assertive and shows them the real Bumi.
Aduh bos, bagaimana ini bos? Tuh kan Bumi. Kenapa tamu bisa kayak gini? Tamu.
Domineering Christina is the first to decide this looks like fun.
So Bumi was the one actually being observed by his classmates rather than the other way around.
Now Ice Thief Jari joins in.
And then they all got the same idea, following what Bumi did. Seeing Bumi being quite awkward in the beginning, but then making friends at the end. That was a really nice transition to see. For Bumi, his skills are maybe not where we want it to be at the moment, but there is some hope. I think he would definitely benefit from moving up a class.
Bumi's fun-loving personality appears to have won over his new classmates. Maybe they'll go a bit easier on him now, and he can start learning from them. The release convoy is losing precious time trying to get Kejora's boat fixed. After some rudimentary repairs, the crew gets the engine running. Just. But now they're behind schedule. The convoy finally arrives at the release site at 4:30 p.m., 2 hours later than planned.
We are running out with the time.
They only have 2 hours of daylight left. Emotions heighten as the moment they've all been waiting for is nearly here.
It's hard to describe what a release feels like. Words don't describe it. It's unique. The emotions are pretty overwhelming.
Each release is the culmination of years of work by hundreds of people from the rehabilitation teams and their government, conservation and national park partners. They've loved, nurtured and taught these orphan orangutans to become truly independent and able to survive in the wild. This will be the Boss Foundation's 41st release from Nyaru Menteng. Every freed orangutan, reaffirming Dr. Jamatin Sehite's conviction.
Orangutan belongs to the forest. We have to rescue them, rehabilitate them, and release them back to the wild.
For Untung, it's now time to say a fond farewell to Suzanne. It's a bittersweet moment.
My feeling is sad, yeah, because I will lose my friend, yeah. But I'm also happy for Susan because this is time for her to get her freedom, yeah. Susan look at me. I think she want to say goodbye.
Suzanne's ascent is slow, as if she's unsure about leaving a world she knows and entering a new life of independence. One without untung. Kejora's release is especially significant to Jamartin.
Kejora is very special to me. That's why I request I open the door.
Rescued from being chained up as a young orphan, to now earning her freedom, Kejora represents what the foundation can achieve.
With our love, with our passion, no matter the condition of the orangutan, our target to make orangutan free in the wild. Kejora is one part of that.
Andrea has the honor of releasing Yoko.
In the moment you release orangutan, you feel it fill your soul. It's pure, unadulterated happiness.
Siarini is freed by the Natural Resources Conservation Agency. Finally, it's time to reunite mother and daughter. For Mama Edwan, her release can't come soon enough. She's getting more and more agitated as she waits her turn. But Edwina will be out first.
If you do not want to release a mother before her child, there's a high chance of the mother going to the child's cage instead and not letting us anywhere near it.
Edwina's overcome her disability so far. But could it hold her back entering the wild? Not a chance.
I'm feeling very privileged, really blessed to see Edwina climb that tree. It's really wonderful, unforgettable experience.
With Edwina safely settled above, her mother can now join her. The oldest orangutan the team has ever returned to the wild is finally going back where she belongs.
To see Mama Edwan climbing the trees, I'm so proud with her.
Both Mama Edwan and Edwina climb trees effortlessly with one hand, and they use their chin and the other body parts. It's so amazing.
They've gone through so many hardships. The release was an emotional one for all of us. Edwina, she was a pro. She went up and started eating. Mama Edwin was a bit more cautious. So she was, where am I? Is anything going to happen?
As the light begins to fade, Mama Edwan prepares for her first night as a wild orangutan once more. Her daughter remains nearby, but so far, there has been no big family reunion. The team will return in the morning to check on the graduates, who now face their first major test. Surviving the night alone in the wild. Before sunrise, the team splits up and heads to the two areas where the orangutans were last seen. Andrea hopes to locate Mama Edwan, Edwina, and Siarini. Untung is heading out in search of Kejora, Yoko, and of course, Suzanne. Right where they left them, Andrea and the monitoring team hit gold.
The first two up out of the 3 orangutans in this area are Edwina and Siarini. Both doing great this morning. Healthy, moving, eating. Couldn't ask for more.
Edwina even made her own nest last night, which shows how much she's learned from her mum. But the family is still not together.
Mama Edwin seems to be having a bit of a lie-in. She hasn't got out of her nest quite yet.
It seems the elderly orangutan is using her new freedom to do exactly as she pleases.
Mama Edwin has decided to stretch her legs.
And finally, the team witnesses the touching moment when mother and daughter reunite at last.
Edwina latched on to Mama Edwin. Just shows how close they are.
It's everything the team could have hoped for.
They're really getting to know each other once again, getting close again, and making this forest their home. And it's their time to shine and live their life.
Untung's search team has also struck lucky. Amorous Yoko appears keen to attract Kejora's attention. But it's Suzanne Untung most wants to see. And he's delighted to discover that she's working hard already.
Susan looking really active, yeah. Making the new nest. She looks very well. That is make me very happy.
During the rehabilitation process, we try to separate ourselves from the orangutans as much as possible. We don't want them to get too attached with humans. But it's impossible to do this perfectly. They're very intelligent, emotional creatures as well, and they recognize as individuals. So for Suzanne, Untung was a really important person in her life. So him being there, her being able to turn to him, it's a nice final step for her to be able to say goodbye.
Mau tidak mau ya harus terima kenyataan bahwa Susan sudah saatnya dia untuk pulang. Goodbye, Susan. Hope the best for you in the future.
As the Lucky Six embark upon their new lives in the wild, the monitoring team will be able to track them using radio telemetry over the coming months. The successful release of the Lucky Six gives hope to everyone back in forest school. For Benny, for Chinta, and for Valentino. Their time will soon come.
Orangutan belongs to the forest. We have to work together, hand in hand, to make sure the orangutan will be in the forest forever. For our generation, for our benefit, for our humanity. We can do it.